Hi folks, welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. So now this is a big one. Big news. Now what I'm doing at the minute in my car, by the way, is I'll explain it shortly, but it's a bit boring. But I'm in Northern Ireland, I'm heading north, I'm about to go through Belfast. But the big news is I'm heading back to Spain, and it's not as straightforward as I just made it sound. So I'm taking you with me on this wee bit of a drive so that I can explain exactly what's happening in my life, onward and upward. That is one of Belfast's many landmarks, but it hasn't taken off as well as some of others. Like we'll have the Harlem Cranes, which are very, very famous, and a few other things. I'm heading through the centre of Belfast. Right, so the story. So my regular watchers will know I'm recently back from Thailand, where I had a wonderful time. And one of my main reasons for going to Thailand is that I'm coming to a point where I have to make my mind up what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. All the responsibilities and everything that I had to do relating to my dad's death are now either finished or far enough along that I can move away. So went to Thailand to decide, could I live here? Could I live in the heat? Etc. Now I went at a time of the year that Thailand's not as hot. It's hot, but it's not nearly as hot as it gets. Like I mean, right now it's coming into April. It starts to really, really boil. April, May, June. It just boils. It's hard to go outside in it. I had the best Thailand holiday I've ever had, and I was worried I wasn't going to enjoy it because I hadn't been, because of lockdown, I hadn't been for, I don't know, maybe 3 years, and maybe I won't enjoy it all. I used to always go and drink a lot, you know, it's just part of it, going on your holidays, and you drink during the day and have a wee sleep and go out at night, whatever, and I don't drink very much, so I wasn't sure if I would enjoy it without that. I did drink, but not nearly as much as I used to. And I had just this wonderful time, and it just dawned on me one day, I was sitting by the pool, that if I moved to Thailand, never mind dealing with the heat that's on its way, I'll lose this thrill, this wonderful thrill of being here for 3 or 4 weeks, loving it and just enjoying it. And it's made my mind up, absolutely, 100% definitely. I don't know what it'll be like in 10 years, but for now, I'm moving back to Spain. I'm going to move to the Murcia, Tarragona, that area. I'll explain far more about that and what my plans are in a few minutes. But I'm definitely moving back to Spain, and I'm going to live in Spain. I'm going to live in Spain full time, and I'm eventually going to buy in Spain again, which I'll explain shortly. And I'm going to go to Thailand in the Spanish winter for a couple of months maybe. Maybe first year I'll go for 4 weeks, and after that I'll go for 8 weeks at a time and live in Spain the rest of the time and make my videos. And the last time when I was there, this is a big thing, the last time when I was there, I was never sure what I was doing. I was never sure if I was staying more than a year. I was going to move after the first year to Tarragona from Guatemala, didn't know, ended up with my dad. I had to come home, and it's given me all this time to think, and although this has been the hardest 9 months of my life, I can't tell you, I just can't. Family problems and all. My family and I my dad seems to have been the person that glued the family together. So there's been all sorts of stuff, and I just can't wait now to get away, start into a new life. I was going to say something now, can't remember what it was. I'm going to Spain twice in the next week and a half, would you believe? I'm not going to go into the reasons how this came about, but a few weeks ago, my very good friend Alan, if you remember him from one of my videos, I'll link below, one of my video I loved that I did when I came back to Northern Ireland in the Marble Arch Caves. I was calling him my chauffeur in his fancy car. Well, he's now got an even fancier car. And he's a very good friend of mine. Well, he had agreed to come with me to Spain to go and look at apartments and spend 4 days looking to either rent or buy an apartment. I've since realised that I have to rent, because even if I bought one I wouldn't be able to go over it right away. So we're going, this is Sunday, we're going next Monday week, which is 8 days away, to fly to Alicante. We're booked into a cheap hotel and I've already got appointments to look at 7 apartments to buy. Now, another video I made way back in Spain was about La Torre Golf Resort. I always fancied living in a golf resort, so I went to La Torre and made this video, and I found it to be boring, very quiet. What you see in the pictures, it isn't really the same because you're seeing the back of all the houses. But actually, now that I'm back looking at properties again, I can't believe how much the property prices in Spain have increased. It's just shocking. Like during lockdown, I was looking at La Torre at apartments they were in the 60 to 70,000 euros for the smaller apartments. You can't get one now for under 100,000 euros. But in other golf resorts, there are properties that are affordable, and I want to buy a nice furnished apartment. There are apartments that are affordable, but they're still all went up in price. And everyone always tries to dissuade me, there's no life, there's no whatever, but this is going to be my home, and I want it to be in a nice place. And what I've discovered is that if I go into Torrevieja or any of the towns along the coast, the apartment prices are first of all much higher, and by and large not nearly as nice. And I realised whenever I was in Guatemala, like people say, do you not want to be near the beach? Well, I'm only going to be a few kilometres from the beach. Guatemala was a couple of kilometres from the beach. So I'm going to go and look at properties to decide in these golf resorts, and as I say, they're all booked in on the first day. And then we're going to spend the next 3 days getting me somewhere temporary to live for the period that it takes me to actually find an apartment that I'm going to buy if I don't go start the process when I'm there this time. And it'll give time for that all to go through. So that's not, I know it's not going to be easy to get an apartment on a 2 or 3 month basis, but that's what Alan and I are going to be doing for those final 3 days. Now, another thing, this is what I was going to say earlier that I forgot. The last time when I was living in Spain, I didn't know if I was going to be there long term, couldn't make up my mind, didn't know I was going to go to Thailand, and I purposely didn't really make friends. I didn't go to anything that I was invited to, and never really got to meet any other expats. Plus I was living in Guatemala, which was almost completely Spanish. This time I'm going to Spain to live. It doesn't matter if I live a bit inland or I live in Torrevieja. I'm going to get involved in life, involved in the expat life, and hopefully meet good friends. We've got a lot of people I want to meet who watch this channel, who live in that area, and I'll get any advice you can give me. What I'm looking for, exactly what I'm looking for. I don't want to spend a fortune. Remember, I'm a budget traveller. Maximum 100,000 euros, but I want a nice apartment, well furnished, with a nice balcony that has a decent view. Should it be a swimming pool, a golf course, or just a nice view? I don't want to be in a street with another building straight facing me. So that's what I'm looking for, hopefully 2 bedroom. So if any of you hear of anything like that in the 100,000 range, or an apartment that someone would let me move into for a few months for a reasonable monthly wage, maybe around 500-600 euros, I would be happy. So that would be good. So just take note of that, any of you that know anybody. But that's the plan. So then Alan and I are flying back on that Saturday. I have already booked my ferry. Well, actually we're flying back, we don't get back till Sunday morning. I've booked my ferry from Rosselaar to Cherbourg for the Monday. So I'm going to have my car packed and we're going to Dublin airport to go for the flight the week before, and we're going in Alan's car. My car's going to have to be packed with everything I own and sitting, waiting, so when I come back I can basically just get into it and start driving back down towards Dublin, but on past the Rosslare. I'll be home for about 8 hours, and that'll be me heading down through France back to my life in the good weather with the nice people of Spain. So there you go, that's an update. I hope my regular viewers are glad that now my life's starting to get back to normal. It also means my videos aren't going to be all over the place. Like, I've struggled. I've done so well. I've hit 2,000 subscribers, and it's just amazing. It's only like 5% of YouTube channels ever get to that amount, but it should have been a lot more. But it's because I started off with a YouTube channel about motorhome living, and then Spain, and then I ended up back in Belfast for the last 9 months looking after my dad, and I made for them here, and then I went to Thailand, and you're losing some of your audience all the time. So now my life's going to be Spain, my videos are going to be Spain, and maybe the odd holiday. So I'm all excited, can't tell you how much, and to put this whole period behind me, I've missed my dad terribly. You don't realise until you actually lose, you know. I was in Spain, I wasn't seeing my daddy very often, although I did go home twice in that year, but I miss him terribly. But life goes on, and he'd want me to be getting on with my life and enjoying my life, and boy is that what I'm going to do. And I have a few hobbies I'm thinking of taking up, so that's something else I'll be exploring. So to end the video, what I'm doing today, I'm on the M2. Yes, I was on the M1, I'm on the M2, I'm heading north. My wee car, I've got into the habit of calling her the old girl, I don't know why, I think that's because I'm getting old, has another 2.5 months left on its MOT. And that would mean when I go to Spain, I'm going to transfer this car over to Spanish, which means getting it prepared, getting all the paperwork done, and getting the headlights done and all that sort of stuff. And my insurance that I have at the minute lasts another 2.5 months. But I decided I would like to get this MOT before I go and get it reinsured, pay for the first 6 months, and have 6 months in to get this car sorted out, because I'm going to have so much going on, and it's super hard to get an MOT. So about a week ago I decided I'll go on and see if I can get one, and I got one for next week sometime. Couldn't believe it, but just come up. I'd been trying all day, and they were all the way September, October, and I got one, and I booked it. The next day, went into my car, turned the key, dead. Thought it was the battery. Charged the battery, dead. And then it started, and then it drove for a wee bit, and then it cut out. And then all the warning lights come on, started giving me different warning lights about everything. The car was going crazy. Lucky to get it back home. Couldn't get a mechanic to look at it for 2 weeks. And I had to join the RAC, and they charged me, because they were then coming straight out, you're just joining, they're coming straight out to look, £199 for the first month. Oh, it's a bit of a long story, I'm not going to go into it. He got the car going temporary, and then it broke down again, but he thought he knew what was wrong with it. It was something to do with the dashboard and controls the computer. And he knew a man who actually fixes them, because he told me, if you need to get a new one, Ford would charge you a fortune, and I know a man, and my car was in with him for 5 days. I'd lived in my dad's house for 5 days. He lives in the middle of nowhere, bored to tears, and the man got the car fixed very quickly. But then he told me there's a component that causes the problem, and he had to order one up, so I had to wait all that time and it coming. So I got my car back 2 days ago. I've just got that all wrong. My MOT that I had booked was 4 or 5 days ago. It would have been the day after the car broke down, and then I got the car in for Sunday, today, 2 days ago. I think that all makes sense. I'm not sure if all those facts, but car, just managed to get it, but the opposite side of Northern Ireland. Well, I'm going north, right to the very top, and it's working fantastically. I've got everything working brilliantly on it. I got MOT'd last year when I come home, and I hadn't got a chance to do anything to it. But last night I decided I'll check all my lights. No reverse lights working. I'm going to the MOT, reverse lights aren't working. And I always say in this channel I'm a very lucky person. I tried to fix it, I changed the bulbs and I moved up, try and pushed all the wiring, took all the back out and pushed all the wire and done all sorts, found the fuses, checked them, swapped them, couldn't get it to work. And went online just to see about it and discovered that cars only need their reverse lights to be working that are made from 2009 on, and this was made in 2008. I am so lucky, I couldn't believe it. I started to cheer. I was in the living room about 12 o'clock last night and I started to cheer because I was in a terrible situation, because even though this car's still on MOT for 2 months, 2.5 months, if you have a new one booked and you don't go, it's then not MOT. That disappears. So I'm going up there now, fingers crossed. I'll let you know how it gets on. But I'll give you a break now, and I'll be ending the video in 2 minutes time. After I've either passed or failed, I have about another hour's drive to go. So there you go, a big update. This is not going to be a very hard video to edit. Now you are all up to speed with my plans and how excited I am. And you talk about onward and upward. Oh, I just can't wait now. I'm going to take a few days drive. I always do. I tend not to do it in one big drive or two drives. I might, but I think I'm going to just take 3 or 4 days to get my way back down into Mercia and move into any apartment I have arranged, or a cheap hotel if I still have to find an apartment. So I'll be back in for you in about 5 seconds to let you know if my car passes or fails its MOT. If it fails the MOT, I'm in dire straits. I have 7 days to get it fixed and to get it rebooked and re-through the MOT again. So I definitely know what to happen. I think I'm about to have the busiest week of my life preparing to go. Alright, onward and upward. You know, driving up here, and ever since I've been home, everywhere I go, it's hard to believe how beautiful Northern Ireland is. It's clean. The roads are in more or less in great condition everywhere you go. It's green, it's beautiful, it's got everything you could possibly want except for 2 things. Rubbish weather most of the time, and a society that's split in two, and I hate both those things. Isn't it funny how life goes? But I love Northern Ireland, though I'm not sure when at all, so next time I'll be back in it, because I can see no reason for it. Now, I'm about halfway to where I'm going, and a story just came into my head, something I haven't thought about in years, but it was a funny story and I thought I'd tell you about it. We're about to go up a hill over a mountain, and the road's called the Pass. And in the snow and the bad weather it becomes impossible. It's one of those places, not too many people live up there. But we used to have a cottage in Donegal that we went to, and one year we'd been up for the weekend. It was myself, my sister, her friend and my dad driving, and got a good wee weekend and whatever, and we were coming home, and as we're coming to the top of the Pass, I actually just remembered the girl's name. She was called Yvette. She says, Mr. Waters, I need to go to the toilet. And he said, where are we going to go to the toilet here? There's nothing. Mr. Waters, I really need to go to the toilet. And maybe she didn't say it that bad, because she was about 17 or 18. But eventually my dad looked, seen somewhere at the side of the road. He says, well, you could go in behind those hedges. And she says, I have to. So we pulled over at the side of the road, and it was an awful, freezing cold day, etc. And she got out of the car and she went into the bushes. And my dad was always great humour, you know. And she was only about 2 minutes out of the car, and he decided just for a joke to panic her or push her to hoot the horn. And then we heard a big squeal. And whenever she came back out, when he hooted the horn, she panicked and fell in the nettles. and stung her old arse. And the whole way home she cried. And my dad felt terrible. It was so funny. Oh my god. What has that got to do with this video? I don't know, sorry. But I had to tell you. I forgot about that place. That's the Ponderosa. And it's always been here. And I can't see a house for miles. And my dad used to say, how does that place make any money? There's nobody lives up here. And there it's still going. You have to admit it, but 45 years later. Tell you, it doesn't look this pretty in the middle of the winter. Up here, it's bleak. It may be bleak, but it is beautiful up here. Reminds me a bit about the first time that I drove from the south of France in the van up the east coast through Paris. For a couple of days I just drove, but no homes, no towns, no villages, just miles and miles and miles, beautiful countryside, massive roads. I remember in the van I was always really worried that if I broke down I'd be in real trouble. Those mountains you can see in the distance there, that's the Spurn Mountains, and they're a massive mountain range. I'll have to look it up actually to see how long they are, but they run for a big chunk of Northern Ireland, and they're somewhere that I had intended in doing a bit of climbing. I think I'm going to find climbing very hard when I get back to it. Done nothing for 9 months. My legs will be like jelly again. We're coming back down now into civil society, into houses and churches, whatever. But I had forgotten just how long the Glen Shane Pass was. I've been on this road for, it must be half an hour. But I can see the villages and all ahead. I just realised one of the funniest things. I'm nearly at the place that I'm going for the MOT. Can't believe there's an MOT centre out here. We're in the middle of nowhere. We'll have a river there, which I believe is the River Foyle. And that's north. Now, we live in Northern Ireland. The people who live on the other side of the river, they live in the south. Southern Ireland, which is most northerly part of Ireland. Never thought about it like that before. It's very strange. That is so typical of Northern Ireland. Here we are, MOT Centre. Wish me luck. It's closed, better not be closed. So, over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, Northern Ireland. Our centres all look the same. That's where your cars and lorries get MOT'd, etc. And the building on the left is where people do their driving tests, or where they start their driving tests from here. And we're backed up in Northern Ireland for MOTs by like 4 months or something like that. So there's a terrible lot of cars on the road that have booked, but they're allowed to drive their car with no MOT because of the big tailback. And there was a big tailback with learners after that shutdown, but I think they've caught it up. He says information. The reason why I'm talking to you, and we got bored. I did arrive here half an hour early, so I have to sit and wait.
One eternity later.
I passed! I'm delighted. That's that over and done with. I bought this car and I can't remember how long ago. And it's the oldest car that I've ever had. And as some of you know, I love it. I mean, I just love this car. I can still have this car in 10 years. And It had never let me down, like never let me down. Imagine I had it in Spain for a year and came back and did the MOT the next day and passed without doing anything to it, just completely winged it. And then I thought she was starting to let me down when she broke down, but you're allowed a wee bit of a breakdown. So the old girl's done well for me. I can't believe it. So they're fantastic. Cars past the MOT. I have a house to leave. I've got a week to leave the my dad's house, get it all tidied up and left nice and clean. I've got grass to cut and hosing to do, pack all my packing for my stuff. And I've bought a weird sort of roof box because I now have more stuff. I had left stuff in my dad's garage whenever it went travelling for the 2.5 years that I didn't need. Well, like my sort of my artwork and stuff, which I really like, in it, and now it all has to come with me. So I need a bit more room to get. I used to be able to get everything and the 2 dogs into the car, but now, and I've checked them out, they're still up with their rabies jabs. Nothing for them. They don't even have to go to the vet. So next time I see you, Alan and I will be on our way to Dublin Airport, my taxi driver, and I'm going to record all our activities to do with looking for apartments and where we go and what we do, and we're going to have a bit of fun. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that video. I really need the videos to start taking off now because I'm earning a little bit of money from them, but it's practically nothing. It's I'll tell you, you know me, very open, and I'll tell you whenever we go away all the prices of all the houses and the apartments and stuff. I'm earning about €40, €43 a month on YouTube, which is nothing. So I wanted to go way back up so that I can do lots of things and do things that I wouldn't have been able to afford to do. And the only way to do that is for people to subscribe, which would be easy for you to do right now, and views, getting views. Really need to get views. If you have any friends you think would like my videos, just hit the share button, give it a thumbs up. That all helps the algorithm in YouTube, and it sort of figures out this channel's getting more watchers or whatever, and then offers it to more people, and your channel grows. And I'm surprised that my channel has kept growing with me messing about so much, moving about, which is a good sign for whenever I go and stick to the one thing. Alright, so thumbs up, and I love to hear your comments. I really do love to hear your comments. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, I answer every single comment that everyone makes, unless it's ignorant. Alright, so I'm going to leave it off there. So until next time, bye for now.